Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
I feel bad for the Flyers. I really do. I feel bad for the Flyers because they were having such a successful season, but because of the nightmare scenario with the 76ers, nobody's talking about it. They're not getting any credit in this city. Joel Embiid's posting all sorts of Instagram pictures and commenting with Jimmy Butler while the Flyers have a fantastic hockey game against the Florida Panthers to move into the playoffs and to continue their hot stretch. They're never going to get the recognition that they deserve when the Sixers are making these type of storylines. But hey, you know what? I don't care because I pay attention, and as long as they are winning hockey games, that makes me happy. So they beat the Florida Panthers 4-1. They stay hot at the Wells Fargo Center. Carter Hart returns. He makes 30 saves. He allowed one goal 3 minutes in, and it was a rocket of a shot. So, okay, not his fault. He's getting back into the pipes. He's getting his feet wet. He allows a goal, but from that moment on, after 3 minutes in, he was dialed in. He was perfect, and it was exciting to see him get back into that crease. It really is. There's a difference, with all due respect to everything Brian Elliott has done so far this season and stepping in when needed and being a veteran piece. I respect everything Brian Elliott has ever done this season and other seasons, but when Carter Hart in between the pipes, it means so much more because he had so much hype, because he was supposed to be this kid who takes us to the promised land. He moves the needle that much. That's not a knock on any other netminder. That's just praising Carter Hart and everything we've been waiting for 5 million years when it comes to a goalie. Now, there's a lot to talk about in this game, but before we do, we need to hear a word from my sponsor, SeatGeek. Are you looking to go to a Flyers game, a Sixers game, or any game out there? Use the promo code BROADS at SeatGeek's checkout page for $20 off. That's free parking. It's a no-brainer. Use the promo code BROADS today. Also, the new Broads apparel is out now. The link is in the description. I'm rocking one of the shirts now if you are listening to this on YouTube. If you're listening to this on Spotify, Apple Music, or Google Podcasts, the link is in the description. Obviously, you can't see me. I have this logo, which is the old school logo, small on the left side and big on the back. And I also have the new logo, the one of me screaming into the microphone, in hoodies, t-shirts, long sleeves, so make sure you check it out. So, in the first period, we know by now, because I stated Carter Hart allowed one goal 3 minutes in, that the Flyers were down early in the first. Before the first period ended, Ivan Provorov with a rip for his 10th of the season to tie the game up 1-1. Bobrovsky in net for the Panthers. Remember Bob? Oh, what a decision made by the Flyers organization to let Bob go, and then he wins Vezina trophies. Unreal. But hey, we got Carter Hart now. That's all that matters, baby. That's all that matters, Carter Hart. But it's just so ridiculous to think that trade actually happened, to think Brizgalov was actually a choice, to think they signed him to that long of a contract. Oh, that guy was a weirdo. Remember the 24/7 when he was talking about the world and how humongous big it was? Oh, scary times for this organization, no doubt. Niskanen and Pitlick recorded the assists on that goal to Provorov. So we move into the second period. JVR ends up scoring on a 2-on-1. Voracek gets the puck. He's changing. As he hops onto the ice, the puck literally gets to him. He pokes it by the defender. It's a 2-on-1. He makes a nice dish to JVR, who finds a way to cash in. The Flyers are up 2-1. With under a minute left in that period, the Flyers are pursuing. They're gaining zone entries. They're throwing pucks on Bob. And Travis Sanhiem drives the net, continues to go to the blue paint. He stops. And that's so big. That's something you learn when playing hockey. Stop at the blue paint. So many people, they drive the net and then they'll curl around. And even think about it, a defenseman, right? You want to get back to the blue line in the offensive zone. You don't want to stay too deep by the crease or by the goal line. But he does. He stays there. He stops hard. As long as there's coverage, that's totally fine. The puck lays right there for him, and he puts it behind Bob to take a 3-1 lead. 53 2 seconds left in the period. That's huge. If you can score a goal with 1 minute remaining or less in a period, that's such a difference maker. That's such a momentum change. So how about this? You look at defensemen for the Flyers. They are producing. Provorov, Sanhiem, and that's not just this game. As a whole, when you look at the NHL and you look at the stats, the Flyers defensemen are getting on the score sheet. They are finding ways to produce. It's crazy. And not just goals. I mentioned Niskanen had an assist. Justin Braun also had an assist. Matt Niskanen's was on the first goal, on Provorov's goal. But there's 2 defensemen right there in 1 goal. It's crazy. It's kind of awesome. And that's without Shane Gostisbehere. That is not looking pretty. Not looking pretty at all. I would not be surprised if he is moved. The Flyers had plenty of power plays. They weren't able to extend the lead. The power play is a mess. It bothers me. That might be the downfall. The Flyers are good, but they're, in my opinion, they're playoff good, but are they good? Like, are they good? They're good. Are they good? And the difference might be that power play. Now, their penalty kill killed off 5 penalties. And let's not act like the Panthers don't have studs on their team. They have players who can score. They are a team that is in the mix with the Flyers and other teams in that wild card spot. They are a team that is well coached. They do have a good goalie. Their roster is constructed pretty damn well. And for the Flyers to kill off 5 power play chances, that's awesome. The PK is good. I'm just going to say good, but I don't want to do that again. It's solid. It's real solid. The power play, though, was almost the complete opposite. And it's so ugly to watch at times. And you also see the Panthers getting scoring chances on the Flyers power play. I don't get it. I feel like they're trying to do too much. Like, let's simplify things. Let's get Claude Giroux in his sweet spot. Let's put JVR maybe net front. Because JVR, he's tipping pucks with one hand on his stick. It's crazy. That goal last game, who do they play? Why am I having a brain fart? Who did they just beat? The Washington Capitals on the road. He's going to the net. He's putting one hand out. Like, JVR scores goals. I mentioned this so many times. They're not pretty snipes. They're not beautiful goals. He just does the dirty work. He just gets to the crease. He bangs in the puck in the blue paint area. That's what he does. He tips the puck beautifully. Put him there. Let's simplify things on the power play. It's crazy. Now, Farabee should be returning soon. By the way, before we get into stuff other than the game breakdown, Claude Giroux ends up putting in an empty net. He sends the puck down from all the way in the Flyers' D zone with an empty net and finds a way to make it 4-1. Hey, he's putting points up on the board. Any way Giroux can take it, he'll take it. And when you look at the Flyers organization and point production as a whole, career-wise, there's a chance he ends up second on the list in the Flyers organization. It's a shame he's so underappreciated because he did not lead this team to a Stanley Cup yet with the captain on his chest, because that's the difference. Crazy. I love that argument. I really do. So Joel Farabee should be returning. They have a back-to-back, the Flyers do. So they just beat the Panthers. They go to New York to play the Islanders on the road tomorrow. That's going to be a big test. That's going to be a battle. And when I say tomorrow, I guess it depends on when you're listening to this. That's on Tuesday night. The Islanders are well coached. They're in the hunt as well. Look at those standings. It's so tight. The race is absurd. The Blue Jackets, they snagged 1 point tonight. They lost in overtime to Tampa Bay. It stings because they got a point, but it's better than the alternative, which is to get 2 points. TK was in this game, blocking shots left and right. He was beat after the game, getting looked at by the medical team and making sure he's all good. He probably had 7,000 ice bags taped to him as he's walking. He was beat up, but that's what you do for the boys. You got to block the biscuits for the boys. Back to my point about Joel Farabee. I'm all over the map. You know why? Because I'm excited. Because I'm excited that this team is worth talking about. So many seasons where I love this team to death, right? Emotionally, I am tied to this team, but games were useless. Oh, the Flyers play the Florida Panthers tonight. That's fantastic. Well, they're out of the playoffs by 15 points. Who the hell cares? It's not the case anymore. I'm juiced up to talk about a Flyers-Panthers game. What? That hasn't been a thing for years. Back to the Joel Farabee thing again. Why that's important. Someone's going to have to come out of the lineup. And Butterman's been playing solid. Aube-kubel has been playing really good hockey. He's a spark plug. The team is noticeably juiced and amped when he is succeeding. And guess what? He has been succeeding. You just watched him at a Gordie Howe hat trick. You just watched him make a beautiful pass in that game where he had the Gordie Howe hat trick. And he sniped Holtby. A-plus shot. Great location. Great velocity. So who's going to be the guy to leave the lineup? There's no way you're going to keep Joel Farabee out. It's probably Morgan Frost. Now, am I disappointed in Morgan Frost this year? I don't know if disappointed's the right word. I expected more, but I don't think he's in a bad spot as a player. I expected a little more, but not like an absurd amount. It's weird. It's really weird. To be honest with you, I guess coming into the season, I thought I expected Morgan Frost to be a step ahead of Joel Farabee, and it's the opposite. So I think Joel Farabee is exceeding my expectations this early in his career, and Morgan Frost is, maybe I expected him to be where Joel Farabee is right now. And it's flip-flopped. But it doesn't mean Morgan Frost is doomed. He'll never be able to make the NHL. For example, the Canadiens ended up sending down one of their top prospects. And, of course, in the Canadian market, and in a market like that, they're all pissed off thinking this guy's never going to work. He's like 19 years old, 20 years old. Come on now. Not everyone comes in at 18 and starts dominating. 18, 19, 20 years old, if they got to spend some time in the minors, so be it. That's not a big deal. You can develop. So my point is, I think Morgan Frost will be the one to leave the roster, maybe move Raffl to center. You got to keep Claude Giroux left wing. I feel like that's important right now. I feel like Alain Vigneault has noticed that, right? It seems pretty noticeable that he is succeeding on that left side and he should be playing there. He's not a bad center, but the center position takes away from his offensive production. And we need that. We need that. JVR, 2 points, +3. Tyler Pitlick gets an assist, +2. Ivan Provorov plays 25 minutes and gets on the board. Tyler Pitlick's a player for his role. I remember when we got him, I saw his stats and I was impressed, but there was a common theme and it was injury and it was staying healthy. But when you looked at his role and how many minutes he was getting a night, he was a decent piece and a decent pickup. And if you remember dating back to last season, they made a move for Ryan Hartman, and then Ryan Hartman was involved and Tyler Pitlick came in the mix, and it was just a confusing time. Like, what is Ryan Hartman going to give you value-wise, and are you getting rid of him so quickly for this Pitlick kid who can't stay healthy? His points were there, though, for what he was playing. I just didn't know if he was going to be able to physically be able to be on the ice and be available. So listen, the Flyers have a big tilt against the Islanders. Every point matters. Every team that is ahead of them or even just slightly behind them who lose, it matters. I'm scoreboard watching every single night, and so are all the players. And they know it, and they're open about it. And they should be open about it. There's nothing to hide. I know you control your own destiny. If you win games, you'll be in. But you still scoreboard watch. I watched the Carolina Hurricanes the other night come back from a epic deficit and beat the Vegas Golden Knights on the road. I'm crying. I got NHL games that are on. I'm crying. Why? What? But it does make it more fun and more interesting to watch other games around the league. When I put on the Columbus Blue Jackets after the Flyers game, when I put on some of these teams in the Eastern Conference, Islanders games, they matter so much more, and it keeps you engaged as a fan watching teams that you normally wouldn't feel motivated to watch. So with that being said, I want to hear your thoughts. on the Flyers. Just a quick little video, but I think they deserve it. They do. They do deserve it. They've been playing hockey that should be respected, damn it. And I'm going to give them the respect they deserve. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, and I will see you next time.